So it is 10 to 5 in the morning. It's just after the longest day in June 2025, and I'm about to go on a walk, but not any ordinary walk. I'm going to walk around the Greenbelt with the whole of London, and it's going to take me right the way around all the home counties and back to this starting point where I am this morning. This is Kingston Bridge in the background, just on the Surrey side of the river, and off we go. These guys out for a morning dip, braver than me. So I should probably start by telling you a little bit about myself. I'm a chartered town planner. I've been working in the development industry for 25 years now. I live not far up the road in Kingston. Grew up in the Greenbelt in Maidenhead, so it's always been something that's been part of my life, and it's something that I have worked within. Part of my job is getting planning for new developments in the Greenbelt, but I think it's something for a long time I've wanted to get out there, to walk in. Not that I walk in it regularly anyway, but just to get out there and understand it better, and just to try and uncover some of the bits that we know about the Greenbelt, some of the things we don't know about it. And I hope this is going to be, I don't know, a bit of a journey of discovery. Not really Greenbelt related, but that boat over there is the Southern Belle, and that was the boat that was in the video for Karma Comedian by Culture Club. So the walk itself is split into 24 stages. It's about 400 kilometres long. It's going to take me all the way around all of the home counties. It's going to take me around many London boroughs, many different boroughs, and I'm hoping to do it in a year. So the walk today, as I say, started at Kingston Bridge, and it's going to take me pretty much along the river. I'm going to get as far as Shepperton, might even push on to Thames. It's about 20k, and see how it goes. This is a important waypoint along the route. This is Raven's 8. It's an island in the middle of the river. There's lots of 8s, but this one's quite special because it's where I got married 19 years ago. It's looking a bit shabbier than it was back then, as am I. We're walking along effectively the northern bank of the river, the Thames at the moment. We're actually at the moment in the London borough of Richmond on Thames. Over to the right, or back there, that's effectively Hampton Court Park, and part of Home Park, and then you've got Bushy Park beyond it. Now, Bushy Park and Home Park were actually, back in the day, in the kind of 40s after the war, considered as a potential location for London's airport. It would have been a lot different around here if that had been the case. So today we're going to go, as I say, along the river. We'll get to Hampton Court Bridge. We'll cross over at Hampton Court. At that point we'll be in Elmbridge, and that's then part of Surrey Council. And most of the walk will be along the river then, and crossing again at Walton Bridge. That's still in Elmbridge. And then we'll see where we get to at that point, and see if we want to push on a bit further. So it's coming up to 6 a.m. and we've got as far as Hampton Court Bridge. It's a lovely bridge. It was designed by Sir Edward Lutyens. And maybe talk a bit about more of him on this walk, on these series of walks. He had his own plans for the green belts, but this was opened in 1933. It was actually opened on the same day as Twickenham Bridge. 2 bridges in London opened on the same day. And then as we walk through round here, on the right, this is Hampton Court Palace. And amongst other things, it was home to the court of Elizabeth I. Now, it's important in greenbelt terms because she was one of the first to seek protection of sprawl around London and against growth of London. There was an Act of Parliament in 1593 that set up a 3-mile greenbelt around London. That was one of the very first mentions of protection of London, and that came from here. A wonderful building, World Heritage Site, and it's going to be busy here next week. The Hampton Court Palace Flower Show. It was a great event. Look at that. Just stunning. So we crossed over Hampton Court Bridge and we're leaving London behind. We're on the Surrey side of the river. We're in Elmbridge and we're continuing to head upstream over to that way. This is Molesey Cricket Club. Fun fact, this is where the first ever LBW was ever recorded in 1795. Came between England and Surrey. So if England don't get too many of those today. So I know what you're thinking. I haven't really talked that much about the Greenbelt yet. And you're right, I haven't. We've got a long way to go on this walk. 400 kilometres, well, 394. So there's lots of time to talk about it. And the reality is it hasn't actually started yet. So just coming up to this point here in Elmbridge where the Greenbelt proper starts. And from this point, it stretches all the way out into Surrey, all the way beyond Guildford. And at its widest point, the Greenbelt stretches all the way for about 70 kilometres out of London, and we're now in that bit and walking through it. And in terms of the Greenbelt, we'll talk about the purposes of it, a bit of the history, developing in it, protecting it, and all the politics and planning that go with it. And there's 2 sides really, there's many sides, but there's those who want to protect it and keep it exactly as it is. And I hope that I might meet some of those people on this walk. But many think that developers just want to concrete over the Greenbelt and don't care about it, and that's not true. But then there's the other side of it, and developers that do want to build in the Greenbelt and build other things as well. Infrastructure, schools, hospitals, energy. We'll talk a lot about that on these walks. It's needed, and it's trying to find that balance. The government are trying to find that balance, and it's been going on for a long time and will for a long time to come. So that's part of what we're going to be talking about on these walks and trying to get into the nitty-gritty of it without getting too geeky at 6:20 in the morning. Obviously, we're in Elmbridge now, and Elmbridge is an authority where it's well connected to London. There's a high housing need there and large issues of affordability. It's one of the least affordable places to live in the whole of the UK. And as part of that whole process, the central government or governments tell local authorities that they have to have a local plan and Elmbridge's plan was quite out of date, and all councils have a housing target that really the government told them at the time they needed to meet in full where they could. Obviously, Elmbridge, very constrained authority, lots of greenbelt, other issues, the river where we are, flooding and other bits. But the political leaders in Elmbridge decided that they were going to pursue a plan which released no greenbelt at all. And in doing so, were not even meeting half of their required housing target. That went to a government inspector last year, and that inspector said that that plan was not a sound plan and couldn't go forward. And so Elmbridge are one of the authorities now. They don't have a local plan and are faced with an even greater housing need under new housing figures. And we'll talk about that a bit more for the different authorities as we go through the walk, but that's certainly where Elmbridge are at. And it's tricky, very tricky, to get a plan through that meets both housing need and the concerns of local residents, of other people around housing growth and the implications of that. And we'll see that as we walk around the different boroughs around London. They're all faced with that same pressure, and it plays out in very interesting ways. Probably one of the first signs of some large bits of Victorian infrastructure that we've seen on our walk, and we'll see a lot more of it. Old reservoirs, or active reservoirs, sort of pumping equipment here, and of course it's one of the things that's needed and often is located in the Greenbelt is infrastructure. We're going to need more of it, of course, if we're going to build the homes that we need, and how we keep up demands. Just something we'll be talking about in our next couple of walks. This is Sunbury Lock, just on the other side of the river there. It's Sunbury on Thames, and that pub you can just see over there, that's where my dad had his stag do. And my mum and dad have been married 55 years next month. It was quite a while ago. I think a couple of them ended up racing across the river. So we are, Walton Bridge, 13 kilometres in, just before 8. Time for a quick stop and maybe a coffee. So what next? Well, as I said, this is the first of hopefully, well, definitely many walks, and doing a whole route round the Greenbelt of London. And I'm going to get back to where I started this morning at 4:45 within a year, by June next year. So I hope this has been helpful, me waffling on about the Greenbelt and putting in even more miles. But yeah, if you like what you heard, maybe subscribe to the YouTube channel, engage. Love to hear from people what they think. Don't moan at me though, I'm not up for that. Drop me a line if you want to join me on one of the stretches. Love to have some company and ideas of other things to look out for on the route as I go around London. There's going to be plenty to talk about. And the next stretch will take me from here up to Staines, and then I've got a route from Staines up to Iver, passing around the back of Heathrow Airport. It's going to be great. So yeah, really looking forward to getting stuck into this, and yeah, hopefully see you on the next one.